Hello, this is Margot Clark from Unique Glass Colors, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. What I'm going to be showing you is carving into pours. I love to do poured enamels, and a lot of times people will say, well, what do you do with it afterwards? You know, I mean, you got this nice piece of glass that's got color all over it. What exactly am I supposed to do with it? And a lot of times I use it for backgrounds. They make great tiles, plates, whatever. I mean, it's just you're making a piece of glass with a design on it, same as you would buy a piece of stained glass or fused glass with a pattern in it already. So what do you want to do with it? I'm going to show you today one of my favorite things is carving into it because it's a lot of fun. And before I start doing that, I'll tell you what I'm using. I've done all these pours. These are some finished ones. But the product I used was layering mix to mix with our enamels, all right? Layering mix comes in 8-ounce, pints, and gallons, all right? I'm using enamels, our NT line of enamels, opaque enamels, and they come in 1 ounce, 4 ounce, and pints. I'm also, fell off to the side here, I'm also using, on this one, I used our accent brass, and accents are mica-based product in liquid, so they stay on top of glass or they go in between glass. All right, give me a second to just get this stuff out of the way and we'll proceed. But I always forget to kind of show you what it is that I'm doing. All right, okay, starting off, I want to get a little bit closer to these so that you can really see. Okay. All right, I'll just start with this one in the middle because that's what's available. All right, this is just a square tile, and I did my carving through it, and you can kind of see here, I want to test and see if I hold this a little bit differently. If you can see, all right, even there, you can see through that carving to whatever's behind it, daylight, a wall, whatever, you know. Let's get a little bit, oh, there, that's perfect. Okay, that's perfect. And I just, see how the edges round over? It looks so nice. Okay, get that out of the way. And this is one of my favorites. This is done on a round circle, and I've got red, and I've got bright yellow in here, and I've got some turquoise and jade, and just a bunch of different colors. And when this one dried, I just saw along the edges, and I'll be showing that, these lines that just kind of formed, and they were the basis of what I used to do my carving. So I just carved all down the side of that one, and then when it fired again, you know, I slumped it, and at the same time when I fired, because I'm using float glass for this, by the way, and I got this nice plate that's got carving on it. All right. And then last but not least is this little guy. And he's 2 layers of glass. I actually capped this one. And just a note, one of the reasons we use our NTs is Artisans, our other line that creates bubbles, is very cool, but it does not like to be mixed with layering mix and cap. The layering mix sometimes causes black areas as the stuff that's in it's burning out. So for pouring, you know, I pretty well stick with the NT line. Okay, and this one in the carving, I think you can see that. After I fired it, so this had a couple of fires. After I fired it the first time, I came back and I put brass here, and then copper here in all of my carved lines, capped it, and then refired it. You know, and quite like the way that came out. Okay, to do it. Actually do it. All right, where am I starting? Okay, starting here. Let's get even closer. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Okay. All right, so what I want you to see is what are my thought process when I start. So I've got this pour, and it's okay. That's about all I can say for it. It's just kind of okay. But I have it. I could soak it for about 20 minutes and scrape all the color off and use the glass again. But I already went to all this trouble and I have it, and it's not horrid. It's just kind of there. All right. So what I would do is I'd look at it and say, all right, I think you can see already my pencil line. So I find out, and I don't do the whole design at one time. I do a little bit at a time to see what it looks like. Once it comes to a point where I think it looks good, I stop. Okay, let's turn it so you can kind of see what I'm doing. All right, so I say, all right, I did it along that edge. Okay, I think, and I saw it for here, sure, I see what I like. So I just let that, the pencil's gonna burn away. All right, then how do I like here? I think of what's with the green. All right, now when I come up here, I think I'll just stay with that green. All right, and that tells me my first area that I'm going to carve into. The rest of it, I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna do a whole lot more because I see all these really cool, look at all these cool lines, even though, and the colors, of course, when it fires, this is unfired, you know, so it's matte, kind of dull looking. This is black, so gloss black is going to fire gorgeous, of course, nice and shiny. All the colors will be nice and shiny. All right, so that's my first step, is to kind of decide where I'm going to start. All right, so I didn't want to take forever with this. I wanted this to be a kind of a quick one, just to kind of show. So here's one that I've been working on. Okay, now I got to back up a little bit. A little too close for that. Okay, and you can see the areas that I've been already, you know, where there's some wide, you know, whatever. I'm about halfway through because I think that I'm going to do more over here because I like this pink area, and where this, again, this has got black in it, where that comes out, and this has got a really cool area here. But so right now I've done this area and I've done here. I've started down here so that you can see. Here, all these lines, can you see they're nice and wide, they're rounded over. Here you can barely see because I just barely got started, all right? My first thing that I do once I get my drawing on there, my pencil, is I come back with an X-Acto knife, all right? Make sure you can see what I'm doing. And I cut. Give me 1 second. I had to close the blinds. That's better. I wondered why it was so bright I forgot to close the curtains. Okay. As I come back with an X-Acto knife, and you can't see this, but I'm exerting quite a good bit of pressure on here because, and stop before you get to the very edge. Okay, don't go to the very edge and flick off or you'll chip it. All right, the layering mix dries hard as a rock. Well, not quite hard as a rock, but very hard. If you've ever done in any art classes linoleum cutting, this is what it reminds me of. All right, then I come back with the kind of the flat edge of my, and I'm right-handed, so this is the way that it's comfortable for me. And do whatever you want to do. Makes no difference. You're just carving stuff out. I'm getting my initial line going, okay, and if it doesn't do right, we'll cut it again. And if you go slow, don't go too fast. I've not had it chip on me except for on the edges, or I save some to kind of show you. And I kind of run it back, make sure I got everything. I want to get down to the glass. All right, have a brush handy so that you can get rid of all that stuff. Get it out of your way. All right, when I get to a corner, all right, I'm gonna get closer again because I want. I want you to be able to really see what I'm doing here. All right, here I've not really done that corner yet because see if I can pick it up so you can see through the white. All right, that just kind of gives you can see there's just a little bit of stuff left there, but it's sharp. Okay, that's all right, but this is what I like. Art Nouveau is one of my favorite art styles, and so I like all kind of rounded, curvy things. That's what I like to do. So when I get down here, all right, I want to, I'm not going to do that so you can see. I guess I'll just have to hope that the light shows through enough. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to get close to this and ever so gently just whack off that little bit. Okay. And what I like to do, now you got there, good, you can see there, is then I like this to kind of curve out. I don't want it to just start or stop at a sharp place. So then this one, same thing. I'd want that one to just make a nice curve. And I don't have to decide everything right now. How do I want that? I want that a little more curved because I have a ways to go. Okay. See, that to me looks much nicer. All right. Now, ooh. Told you I was putting a lot of pressure on that. Okay, we'll set that aside for just a moment, okay, because my next thing is I have a variety of tools. Let me show you some of these things that I've got. I've got old dental tools, anything that's got a sharp edge on it. This is a cleaning tool for ceramics. I quite like this one because now, once I've got my initial line from the X-Acto knife, I'm going to take the flat edge of this and I'm going to dig back down in there again. This is going to widen it. All right, kind of follow it back up. And I guess I'll keep doing that until it just does it easily. All right, when I get down here, I've got another corner. Oh, let's put that blade back in. Oh my goodness. Okay, tell I'm exerting a lot of pressure on that thing, unwound it. All right, so I get down here. All right, again, I'm going to very carefully come down and just, I'm exerting less and less pressure, kind of picking it out of there. If it pops, you know, and I get a chip, well, then I get to work with that chip. And luckily, I like to have the edges be rounded anyway, but I want to control it. I don't want it to pop off on me, okay? So there I've got it. Now I'm all the way out to the very edge. Okay. All right, and one more time, I'm going to just kind of round that out because I know that I like to do that. And I'm going to round it that way, just a little bit. All right, back to this tool. Now, it's got, this hand has two ends. So this one actually is wider than the other one. So I'll come back in. Can you see that I'm exerting a good bit of pressure on that? I don't want all the lines to be the same, but I do want them to be able, you to be able to see them. I want it to be light enough, you know, wide enough, I should say, so that you can really see that. All right. So I'll come down here. Now, when I get down here, I'm close to the edge. I'm going to be a little more careful, not be quite so aggressive. I still want that out of there. If it seems to be a little tough, then take your X-Acto knife and come back in there. Okay. All right. So say I've done that on both sides, and I've got a nice, pretty decent line. Okay, but it's boring. It's just kind of a line. It's just kind of there. And that's not showing up as well as it is right here, so what I'm looking at. Okay, so I would like it a little wider in some places. All right, so back to your X-Acto knife, and I'll say, all right, here, I would like it to curve way out here, and then come back into the existing line. All right, come back in, and I think I want that to curve too. So you can slice off with your X-Acto knife as you're going. All right, and so that's, you can see out here, I got all these curves. It takes a while. This is not something that just, you know, happens right away. And I can see right here, I'm a little close. Do I want to mess with that, or do I want to, see that little point I got there? I probably should just leave that alone and not get carried away and find out that I had messed things up. Here, I decided on this one, I had a nice point there, but I came down, I wanted that really deep, and I wanted this to sweep in, okay? So this is my ultimate goal, is to have all these edges fade off, you know, rather than just stop, you know? So this is what I'd be doing, and when I got this area done, then you look at the whole thing and say, do I like the way it looks all by itself right now, or do I think that it needs more? So rather than deciding the whole thing, I need to see how it's going to look, you know, as I'm going along. All right, so let me put this aside. That kind of gave you the idea of what I'm doing. And then this one is complete. Okay, so this one is all done. That's a bit further away so you can actually see it. Okay. And again, I want to pick this up so that the white shows through so you can see. Yeah, there we go. You know, I really liked the designs in this. The lines seem to end up here. And the lines come from you tilting it back and forth when you're pouring, all right? This area, I just liked the way that it looked. It didn't have any particular place. I could come back and cut these little circles out, but I kind of like them, so I'm gonna leave them alone. But here, I've just got all this done. And then like I showed you before, when this fires, okay, then all of these edges, nice and shiny, see how nice and shiny that is? But all those edges, can you see all those edges round over? You know, so here they're sharp, but they'll round over when you fire them. And you always fire our product to the glass that you're using, all right? Because we go on COE 83 to 96, and we fire from about 1400 degrees to 1800. So you've got a lot of variance in there. So whatever glass you're using is what you determine what the firing temperature is going to be. All right. If you have any questions on this about what I did or whatever, you can contact us. Here's our info. Okay. So uniqueglasscolors.com. Email info@uniqueglasscolors.com. If you want to watch this, I'll put this, this will be on Vimeo, and we'll put it up on YouTube also, but here's vimeo.com is where a lot of our videos are. We have a Facebook group, Glass Art with UGC. We love people to join, come see. A lot of things. We post a lot of things and things that other people have done. And we have a Facebook page, Unique Glass Colors. So, having said all that, I hope you enjoyed this quick little demo, and I will talk to you later. Bye.